Hey Brick Bloggeteers, Will here, and today we're taking a preview look at set 76780 Wednesday Addams figure. Now this will retail for $50 and it's of course based on the Wednesday Netflix show. I was a little concerned with the fact that if they're going to follow the Disney princess lines, these were going to be mini doll type base. This one is brick built. There's no mini dolls in here. However, the doll itself is built styled after a mini doll, and I wasn't sure if I was going to like that. So let's check it out. So you got a stand, and it's going to be elevated because of course it has two drawers on either side. We'll get closer looks at those a little bit later. And then a whole bunch of different elements from the show, including Wednesday's typewriter, the crystal ball. I imagine this batch of flowers is kind of representative of the corsage she had for the dance, a tombstone, and then of course the Nevermore gateway entering the school. Now you do have two options to build her, and they're going to require a bit of rebuilding from one to the other. You do keep her legs together, but the skirt's completely different, the torso's completely different, and there's a lot of rebuilding of the head. I think there is a easy instructions, and you can find it on the back. One of the stickers that comes with the set is a QR code, and when scanning it, since this is a preview, they didn't have it live, but it did open up the Lego building app. So I think that's going to get builders to the page where it might have instructions how to easily build from one outfit to the other. Now I'm absolutely in love with all the pieces in here. One thing that caught me interested is the new flower piece in black. They actually use quite a bit of them. So you have a whole bunch of black ones here, one over the tombstone. You have for the knobs on the drawers. So they use the piece heavily. And the piece itself can actually be fit over a stud, or it can actually be fit into a flower stem. So it's a very versatile piece, and it looks very nice because it's a very full and rich flower. The flowers themselves, especially on this kind of corsage piece, they're leaves that are on metallic silver. Now I've seen them in pearl gold, so it's nice to see a more silver option as well as a trans black option, and that is heavily used in her Raven's dress for this particular build that I've kept together. So those parts are nice. I also like on the sign, they have little blackbirds. Now I've seen them in white, I've seen them in red, possibly blue, but I've never seen them in black. So having them as either a blackbird or another piece of architecture, like in wrought iron work, is a fantastic piece to have. Especially I love all the wrought iron work on the sign itself, using black hot dogs to curve, some of these extra swoops, hockey sticks on the side. In fact, the hockey sticks are used as well in the carriage return for the typewriter as well. So really cool elements. One I've never seen before is this corner sections that are on all four corners, but it's how the little curved swoop fits underneath this element, because it starts as a 2x2 kind of tile, except one end is tilted up, and the other corner that's not tilted is built to have a single stud, so you can build it nicely into something and have this flat yet curved element kind of stick out as a flare. All right, we talked about the drawers, and the way they work is pretty interesting. So they're locked in place with this knob here. This knob doesn't turn or anything, rather it's pulled out like a pin. So that pins the whole thing in place, and the rounded stylized in, which I believe is the Nevermore crest, that's also printed. So printed elements, you have this, as well as Wednesday's face. Anything else that has some sort of graphic or artwork, like the paper coming out of the typewriter or Wednesday's torso, those are all stickers. The tombstone has a sticker, the crystal ball has a sticker. There are quite a few stickers in this model. But once you pull out the pin, then both drawers on either side can come out. Now, an interesting element about these drawers is they're actually built so that they can be interchangeable. It doesn't matter if it goes in this way, or you've reversed them around this way or this way. They're made so that these Technic bricks are what fits nestled into one another, so that when the pin gets locked in place, they go through. And of course, this is where you would store other elements, like this piece that creates the bottom of her skirt for her uniform. Again, that's a sticker. And you just have a whole bunch of extra components in here, including her extra face, but that's kind of messy. If you notice, they have slopes here. That helps you, when you put them back in, slide it in the right before it goes in. Of course, helps if I put the pieces in. That way you don't have any loose elements, and all you need to do when you're ready to play is go scan the QR code, find your instructions, pull out your parts, pull off Wednesday, rebuild her, and I think there's enough pieces that you can actually experiment with different types of hairstyles, kind of like if you were playing with a brickhead. As I mentioned before, I wasn't too sure if I would like the mini doll styling, but when it's scaled up this way, for some reason, it just looks better to me. So I was completely fine with how this kind of style came about. In fact, I could definitely see the inspiration from a mini doll, but I wasn't looking at it thinking, oh, that's a large mini doll. Kind of weird to say, but it was a plus in my book. So again, this is only going to be $50, which is very equivalent to other buildable figures, for example, like Iron Man or a Groot figurine. So that's a right price point. Love the parts in this. Again, it's set 76780, and I would definitely recommend this, especially if you're a fan like me who's a fan of Wednesday, but maybe not necessarily the mini doll, because I never had any problem with it. Again, Wednesday.